Get on, Beybladers, BladeBayX here. I am on a mission right now to try and qualify to compete in the Asia Cup GP. They will be happening in Osaka, Japan later this year, and to help further this quest, I entered a Go to Japan tournament hosted by NB Hobby in Bangkok this past weekend. Now, unlike the last two tournaments I've been to in Bangkok, where the participants were 232 and then 364 players respectively, this tournament is capped at 128 competitors. So you'll only need to win 7 matches in a row compared to 9 or 10 to be able to take that first place spot. So I packed my bags and was off to Bangkok. Now this wasn't the only thing I was doing in Bangkok. I was actually there for work this weekend. I regularly judge and referee on ADCC Thailand events, and this weekend we were hosting the ADCC Asia Open, the largest grappling tournament in Asia with huge cash prizes for the absolute division winners and the pros. After I finished judging all of my matches, I actually ended up taking over the commentary booth, which was broadcast on UFC Fight Pass, ticking something else off the bucket list for me. So after all the work was done, I had my free day and we were off to the tournament. This was hosted at Amarini Mall, outdoors in their function area. The tournament organizer, Kunlate, was like the nicest dude ever. It was really helpful talking to him before the tournament, so I knew where I was going, what I needed to do. He and his staff were super welcoming once I got there, and the place was super busy. Of course, there were 128 competitors just in the main event, but there were also side events. There was a G3 going on at the same time, as well as a Cobalt Drake giveaway. They'd had a tournament the day before for juniors and 5-on-5 decks, and there was also junior Go to Japan tournament this day. So huge events with lots of huge prizes and cash prizes. Honestly, here in Thailand, like the rest of Asia, there are some serious tournaments going on every week. This is not an irregular occurrence over here. NB Hobby will run more Go to Japan tournaments, and next month, the next run of G2 tournaments here in Thailand will begin. So hopefully we can qualify early for the top 16 of the next G1, and then winning that G1 will get us to Japan, as well as the gold Dran sword we so desperately need. Let's get to the matches. So really my plan this tournament was to come out hard and fast. I wasn't playing any stamina types, so no ball bits, no orb bits this time around. My opponent came out with Tyranno B on rush. I had my Buster on 560 low flat. For most of these matchups and on the B side here, I'm looking to get a parry and put them in the pocket early. Didn't pull off the parry, but my opponent ended up bay wheeling here off of impact and lost a lot of stamina. But we managed to put them in the pocket anyway. So next was a mirror match. Phoenix Wing 360 taper on both sides of the stadium. Again, I want to hit my parry here and push him towards the pockets as early as I can. I get some favorable contact here as they clash. Towards the middle, I go back, but he goes to the pockets, and we take our first match 4-0. So it was a while until my next round. Again, 128 competitors, so a lot of people to get through. So I'd be a fool not to go around and check out the other competitors today. Some awesome bladers, some like super serious players I've seen at a lot of the other large tournaments, and I see on social media after they're winning a lot of these larger tournaments as well. So I was checking out their combos and seeing what was going on. Nothing too crazy, pretty much the generic meta of Wing, Buster, Tyranno B, and of course Rod. Some few guest appearances from Crest, and not too much of Rudder, but yeah, we saw some Crest there. And of course, Unicorn Sting always makes a few appearances. So the next match we're going to cover isn't one of my own, it's actually from one of the channel subscribers. He asked me not to show his face in the video, so going to respect that. But yeah, he's commented on a few of the videos, especially the string launcher one. He said a few things to me actually on the day, but I coached him a little bit more on his launch technique. There were a few posture things not going too well for him, and he was having a lot of his launches fly backwards, so we corrected that for him. And I don't want to give spoilers away, but he actually did really well on the day. So yeah, he had a Dran Buster on flat for his first pick, and then he came onto his Rod on ball combo. Very safe picks, very good idea to go with, playing the meta, especially when you're new and you're not sure, but you want to get into the competitive side of blading. It can be very safe, and it can teach you a lot about how the game's played. first, going off people's like generic like meta combos and figuring those out, and then as you kind of like branch into either trying out more parts and stuff like that, you have a bit more of an understanding of how the game is played and what you can do to maybe give you a little bit of an advantage and edge towards your playing style and how to win like that. So I run some niche stuff every now and again, but I make calls and picks based on what I think is going to be played and what I like to play. So yeah, just play what you enjoy, and if you think it's going to be able to get you wins, play it. But there's certain things that I go off of, and well, that's why you're on this channel, because you like either arguing or debating my opinions with me. Our Beybladers opponent managed to get a spin finish using their rod on Hexa against his wing on Rush. Our opponent's now using their wing on Rush, and our Beyblader has gone back to his Buster on flat. Now, Rush and Wing should have the stamina here. They get the spin finish, so now it is 3-2 to our teammates. Can he pull through anytime soon? So, Rod on Hexa for his opponent, Rod on Ball for the Beyblader. If it stays a contest of stamina, we should get this here, but who knows? Hexa can act in some crazy ways, and I mean, Beyblading's Beyblading. You can do everything right and it can still bite you in the ass. So let's see. While we're waiting for this Wizard Rod on Wizard Rod battle to happen, again, code BladeBayX at noozle3d.com for 10% off of your orders. I recommend the slip grips. I recommend it to everyone taking a string launcher to competition. It is the best accessory you could possibly use to upgrade your launching skills. Anyway, back to the match, and Ball wins, of course, as it should do, in a stamina battle, and Bega advances to the top 64. My next round was up and I was fighting for my place in the top 32. My opponent using Rod on Hexa, so I want to hit them into the rails. They actually launch a little bit early here, which is a big mistake from them because they're going to drop to the middle early, which is exactly what I want to get contact with my Buster. And we managed to get a short little extreme dash into a nice little extreme finish there, putting us up 3-0. Next is my wing on Taper against their wing on Rush. Very tough matchup, but I'm hoping I can reverse X behind them enough that I get favorable contact. We do get there, but they come back up to the X line as we drop down, get back behind us and knock us into the pocket, taking an over finish. So 3-2. So this is the first time using my third combo for the day. Wizard Rod on 960 dot. I made the pick for this over Ball just because I like the sticking power and I knew attack types would be popular. So here I just knew, as he pulled out, Cobalt Dragoon, if I stay on the X side of the stadium as much as possible, I should dodge his extreme dashes. So with the sticking power of Dot, it actually makes kind of like strategies like that actually viable. And yeah, we get the spin finish, getting to 4 points and taking our second win, and now we're in the top 32 for the day. Let's go Beybladers. Our teammate was up next, very excited to see if he can carry on and we can get 2 Beybladers in the top 32. He opens up with his Buster, his opponent opening up with Wing, I believe on flat. So very aggressive Wing combo, but Buster also extremely aggressive. So both combos on flat. Wing, of course, having much better stamina overall than Buster, takes the spin finish, and our opponent is 1-0 up. Now the reverse, our opponent is using their Drown Buster, I believe, on Rush, and Beyblader has Rod on Ball, unfortunately getting burst here. I mean, there's an argument there was an air contact before Rod hit the stadium, but no arguments from our team member, so they are down 3-2. Our opponent now using Tyranno Beat, our Beyblader with their Phoenix on Rush, dodges that extreme dash, gives it a little bit of a nudge and allows Tyranno Beat to extreme finish, bringing it back up to 3-3. This is an awesome game. I absolutely love the sport of Beyblade. It is super intense. I love playing to 4 points. I love the single elimination. I love like the cutthroat intensity of it. It's a lot of fun. So now Wizard Rod 960 Ball is trying to defend against Buster on, I believe, maybe 960 Rush. I didn't grab the dude's combo. Funny enough, for this tournament, we actually had to write down our combos in their order, and we had to stick to that order on our name tags and on these sheets that we handed to the judge and referees. But Vega gets the spin finish, and that's 2 Bladers in the top 32. In my next round for a place in the top 16, I find myself against a Tyranno beat on point combo. Was that point or hexa? I can't remember, sorry. But I get a very quick parry regardless from Buster. I was trying to hit a clean parry like this all day. This time, perfect KO straight out the extreme pocket. And we are 3-0 right now. Next up is our wing against their wing combo, but they are on 360 rush opposed to our taper. So taper should have better stamina, doesn't always go that way. Again, I wanted the parry, I wanted the face of my blade pointing towards the pockets, and we managed to hit it.
Every round you so fast.
So our teammate is now fighting for their place in the top 16. His Buster against a Tyranno beat combo right now. Tyranno beat, very good. I just don't like launching with it too much, but once it's in the stadium, very good blade. Gets the spin finish there against Buster. Here we have a Wizard Rod mirror match, which is kind of the theme for this match between these two. But I've sped it up to double speed for you so we don't have to wait the whole time. But yeah, here we see Ball versus Glide, I believe it is. It's either Glide or it's the orange recolor, but our teammates Ball, I think, yeah, it's Glide, is stickier and pushes their Wizard Rod out of the stadium, bringing the score to 2-1 to Vega at the moment. Now it is Wing on Rush against, I believe, Buster on, I think, Rush as well. I'll have to double check during the match if I can see it, but I think, yeah, Wing and Buster on Rush as far as I can tell. So that actually got checked out by the head ref because they couldn't tell who like outspun the other person, so they just made it a rematch. So yeah, I actually thought our guy got it on the last one, but unfortunately this time around it goes to his opponent, and that brings the score to 2-2. Very, very, very close. Our teammates had a lot of neck and neck matches, despite this only being the third one of the day for him. But yeah, absolutely like battled and scrapped his way for every win. Really, really awesome. Super new to the hobby. And yeah, really, really cool to be in his corner and give some advice during. But here again, our opponent takes another spin finish, and it's now 3-2 in our opponent's favor. Again, lots of back and forth, edging just ahead and forward. Now we have another rod on rod mirror match. Again, I've sped this one up to a double speed for you, so you don't have to wait around for too long to see what happens. But for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Glide so far, but I can see in mirror matches like this, if you manage to flat launch it in the center and doesn't go too wild, it's prone to do. It should have better stamina, and unfortunately now there's only one Vega Blader left in the tournament. Now I'm on to my match to make it into the top 8 quarterfinals, so going from 128 to 8 players now would be absolutely awesome. I'm opening up with Buster, they open up with Tyranno beat. I thought I put them in the pocket, but they came back in. Tyranno beat on point, a very reliable combo. They only lose by the 1 point, so we are 1-0 at the moment. And now it's Wing on Rush for them and Wing on Taper for us. Wing on Rush definitely more popular, but I was actually surprised to see a lot of Wing 360 Tapers at the tournament that day. Kind of encourages that maybe I have made the right choice, even though it doesn't always pay off. And here they can't decide, so the head judge comes over. After watching the footage back, it's ruled a draw, so we redo the match. So again, Wing on Taper against Wing on Rush, and we're getting the better of the contacts in this one, and we get the spin finish. Now going to 2-0 in this, what would this be, 16th finals, whatever that is, super semi quarterfinals, who knows. Anyway, now we have our rod on rod action. We're using dot, they are using ball, so they should have the better stamina here. I was hoping to get a bit more aggressive in the center early, maybe be able to steal a knockout or possibly burst. The knockout more likely. If we get a big hit, we're less likely to go out of the stadium because of the grip of dot. They're more likely to slide out because of ball, but we still need to get the contact on the favorable side, and it's not like we're gaining that much speed to get a KO with rod if it's on dot. So very, very tough matchup here. That's why types matter. We do knock it into the extreme line to make it wobble a little bit more. It looks like we might have a chance, but no. Life after death on ball, and it just takes it by a couple fractions of a revolution there. So now it's time to reorder our decks. I'm thinking because I've only got 2 points, I need to hit them hard early, so I stick with Dram Buster, but I go with Wizard Rod second, and an absolute huge stroke of luck, they pick their Wizard next. It's the matchup I'd rather have than rod on rod again, because here I've got more of a chance of hitting that KO or burst, which I do try to do. Doesn't always go that way, but this is why we play aggressive attack types, because of combos like Wizard Rod on ball being so prevalent and at the top of the meta. So we're getting some decent contacts, but not enough. They get their spin finish, and now I believe the score is, I've lost track, is it 2 each or 3-2 to them? But we've got our Wizard Rod and they've got their Tyranno Beat on point. So we should be the stickier combo with the better stamina, but Tyranno Beat punches very, very hard. Hopefully, we can get the spin finish, not get KO'd here. But we are starting to drag a lot, and all the extra tips on dot are scraping the stadium. Must have been 2 each, because now they get another spin finish, and it is 3-2 to our opponents. We have fallen behind. We're only 1 spin finish away from being out of the tournament, and it is Phoenix Wing on Taper versus Rush. A very historically bad matchup for me, but I'm hoping I can get a nice launch, get that early contact and parry them away. We don't get the parry, but on the backswing we hit a very lucky burst, and I'm very grateful for it, and we advance to the top 8. Okay, so now we are playing for a trophy. If we win this match, we get at least a trophy, but we will be in the quarterfinals, the top 4 of the tournament, and we are against Kun Latte, the tournament organizer, a fierce competitor who is always topping and winning huge tournaments as he is hosting them. So first up we have Buster against Wing on Rush, and yeah, the absolute worst happens here. All tournament I've been doing some really smooth launches I've been quite happy with, and then I just throw myself in there last second thinking about doing a little bit of an extra flick to get to the outside. It does not pay off. Instead I just launch myself straight into the pocket. Next up, my Wing on Taper against his Rod on Hexa. Again, I want to try and hit this one early and try and cause a self KO. If I can knock it into the rails, I know Hexa can go a little bit crazy, and that's normally the best way to get rid of it. Here it does exactly that, throws itself around and over finishes itself. So we equalize, back to 2 each. Now I am on to my Rod on dot combo. I've been watching Kanlate all day, and he is going to be pulling out his Cobalt Drake on point now. So again, 2 defensively sound combos. I should have the better stamina, but he will punch harder, which will pay off. He kicks the stadium a little bit to the side there. I'm not going to blame it, but my reverse X finishes a little bit shorter than it had been on the day. And yeah, we get smacked into the pocket and we are finally knocked out. We made it to the top 8, but Latte went on to come second, which actually pulled our points and our rankings up to 6th place. So we didn't walk away empty-handed from the tournament. We got a small cash prize, and we also won a new dot bit on a lucky draw they were having. I couldn't stick around much longer, unfortunately, because I was already running late for catching my flight that evening. But I stuck around to watch Kanlate's next match and him make it into the finals. And as you can see, the energy here is absolutely awesome. I can't wait to be back. Hope to be back soon for the next G2 tournament in a week's time. And of course, I'll bring you along for the ride. Catch you in the next one, Beybladers. Peace.